Today on the Mike O'Mara Show.
I'm intrigued, and please don't strike me as I sit here.
No, that's fine.
When I hear that somebody's looking for somebody after 50 years that they dated,
right,
the first thing I think is Robb's mom must have a magic vagina.
What is that? That is not okay.
This is Tarp City down here. Everybody has tarps over their roofs where the damage was. So anyway, I wanted to say sorry about this, but Mother Nature. Thanks for the only 2 hurricanes. Hey, right in my backyard. How did you get involved with the Jeffrey Dahmer story? How did that come about?
I had to audition for it. At the end of it, they had to do a full body shot, and my manager said, "I have to do a full body of you now." And I jokingly sort of hoisted up my boobs and said, "Well, if I'd known that, I would have worn a bra."
All that and more. The Mike O'Mara Show starts now. Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Robb Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Live from Podville Media in Washington, D.C. and around the world, you are listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome to the party. And please join us along with our friends in great places like Gresham, Oregon, Silver Springs, Florida. That's with an S.
Yes.
Silver Springs, not
Sister
like
City.
Maryland. Avon, Indiana. LaConner on Skagit Bay, Washington. This has got to be Dirk that sends you these.
No,
right?
that's someone that I never heard from. I never heard from this person before.
It sounds like Dirk driving around his area.
It does, though. I agree.
Ambergris, K, Belize, and Bergen, Norway. The Mike O'Mara Show is on now. And we begin our week with something very, very special. And turn that music down a second so I can hear myself think here. This is exciting for me because I've done a lot of interviews in my time, but when I get a chance to really, really speak to someone who is iconic and part of an iconic part of American culture, it's exciting to me. We are really, really honored to have on the show today 4-time Emmy winner Michael Learned. You remember her as the Waltons' mom.
Of course.
Olivia. She stars now in Dahmer-Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. She plays the grandmother of the infamous killer. And she is also observing the 50th anniversary of the Waltons. Let's welcome Michael Learned to the Mike O'Mara Show. Very nice to have you on, Ms. Learned. How are you?
Thank you. I'm a little sleepy.
Yeah, it's early out there
she's
in
West
California
Coast,
right now. Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. As soon as I realized it was you who played the grandma, I just said, wow, it brought all the memories back of a time when we all, it just doesn't happen anymore at all, where we'd all gather around. And on that particular night, I don't even remember, it's long ago now, but I remember my whole family, my sister, my mother, my father, we would get along and sit down and watch one television program, something that is absolutely unheard of today, except in very rare circumstances. It's just great to have you on the show, and I have so many questions for you. I'll start with the current project. How did you get involved with the Jeffrey Dahmer story? How did that come about?
Well, I'm still working, and
right.
I had to audition for it. And,
wow!
I think what happened. I think the reason I got it, because I'm sure there were other actresses who were as right for the part as I was. At the end of it, they had to do a full body shot, and my manager said, "I have to do a full body of you now." And I jokingly sort of hoisted up my boobs and said, "Well, if I'd known that, I would have worn a bra."
There it is.
And he left it in for when he sent the reel in, and so I guess maybe it cracked them up, and they said, "I'll give it to her." Anyway, whatever happened, I'm grateful. It was a nice little meaty role for an older person,
so to speak.
I was very grateful.
It really was, and a role that, obviously when you think of a pick like this, you're thinking of the Evan Peters, who plays Jeffrey Dahmer, and you don't think that the grandmother would have a significant part of it, but you do. And I didn't realize that she was such a huge part of that. I don't think a lot of people that followed that horrific story were aware of the grandmothers, and it was kind of a family of really enablers. Wouldn't you agree?
In a sense, yeah. I mean, I think she was in such denial. How can you not know somebody's chopping up people in your basement? How can you not know that?
I would think it would be pretty obvious.
When you find mannequins in the bedroom, that's the time to take it to the next level, I think.
That's a little creepy, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, never did anything. I mean, she never really confronted him. Sort of vaguely did, but then let it go. So I think
and the father does too. The father's the same way. So what's your take on it? Do you think that, obviously when you're going to play this role, you do your research on the whole story, a bunch of enablers in his world that ignored some obvious red flags. Did you have a take on it as to why? Was it fear? Was it just not wanting to believe the worst, or total lack of awareness?
I think you hit all three of the right buttons. I think I have a grandson who's living with us at the moment, who is a 28-year-old gorgeous. I'm a little biased, but he really is gorgeous and sweet and dear. And I couldn't think for a moment that behind my back he was doing something as horrible and horrifying as what was going on in Catherine Dahmer's basement. But I think if it were me, I would have gone. If my basement was smelling like dead bodies, I think I would have gone downstairs and investigated. But she chose not to.
It's amazing. I want to talk about such a huge part of the American consciousness, the Waltons. For such a long time. I don't even know where to begin. I guess I'll just ask you to tell us about being a part of such an iconic show, a question you've been asked a million times, but I'm fascinated because I think I was watching it with my mom, and I think like a lot of boys that age, you played the mom, but there were lots of boys out in America and lots of men out in America who had a crush on you. I mean, I did. It was true. What was we had 3 networks back in those days. I mean, if you had the smash hit, or in your case, an iconic hit, what was that like being part of that?
Well, it was a thrill, and kind of unreal. When I first took the role, when I was given the role, which was, I was very grateful for. I was going through a hard time in my own life, and it was like a gift from God, really, because I had 3 kids to support. I was going through a divorce, and this role came along, and part of me thought it was kind of boring that all I did was pour coffee and say things like "pass the salt, please," and "time for bed, kids."
That's
but
funny.
It really gave me a second family. These kids who are now middle-aged adults, but they were like my second family. So I think you couldn't fake that kind of chemistry. I really don't. Not week after week after week, and we genuinely grew to love each other, all of us. And every hiatus, the kids would go off and they'd come back. The girls would suddenly come back with boobs, and the boys would come back 4 inches taller. And
that's amazing.
It was just a glorious time, really.
That's awesome. And well, you deserved it because we all loved it. Oscar, I know you wanted to ask Ms. Lerner a question here.
May I call you Michael? My apologies.
Of course.
Okay, great. First, it's an honor to speak with you on many levels. One, because you've been able to master TV at such a high level, and then film, and now streaming. Is there a difference between success on film and television versus being number one or trending on Netflix? Because Netflix is global right away.
It's hard to know, because when you're doing television, it's not like doing a play where at the end of it you either get booed or bravoed. So for television, you can look at the statistics, I guess, to see whether the show is doing well or not doing well, but it's not the gratification you get when you're doing something on stage. So I don't really.
Did you?
I know that that Monster's doing well in the ratings for what it is, which shows that we're all a bunch of creeps because we watch things about a serial killer. But and the Waltons was just the opposite, really. I think people were needing something that was cohesive and comforting after the '60s, where we all went crazy. We were all kind of off our heads a little bit in the '60s, which was freeing and wonderful in one way, but in another way, everybody was a little nuts. I think
it was a little stability. I thought. How do you think
sorry?
I'm sure you've been asked this a bunch. How do you think the Waltons would play in 2022? How do you think it would go over? We need it now. I think also it's a crazy time right now.
I don't know. I mean, I do know I'm getting letters from people who are watching it today who's they say my mother watched it when before I came along, and now I'm watching it with my mother, and I love the show. But I don't know. I think it was basically a good show. It wasn't all sweetness and light the way it's often presented today.
Right.
It was about very real things that happened. I think it should be shown in schools, actually, because I think it's kind of a history lesson of a period in our culture in this country back in the Depression.
One of the things I read about your casting on the Waltons is there was a little issue that you were younger than the character was supposed to be, and you can tell that you're playing it a little older, but the chemistry with Ralph Waite was it immediate because you two clicked as it was so credible as mom and pa Walton. It was just amazing.
Well, I was lucky because when I auditioned, did the screen test, actually, I did it with Richard and Ralph. And they're both lovely, generous actors who love to act, and they were very, very present in my audition. So I get so nervous for any kind of test. If I'm signing a check in the bank, I tremble if somebody's watching.
So hard to believe.
Right there. I'm sorry?
You're so collected, and you were so collected on the show. That's a surprise to me that you get nervous with. I guess everybody gets nervous to an extent on auditions, but you talk a lot about your relationship with Ralph. That you two were very close. You didn't become romantically linked, but you came pretty close, right?
Yeah, we did, and we were smart. I guess I'm grateful that we both kind of looked at each other and said, "Nah, better not." Because relationships are tricky, and we were both single, at the beginning of the show, and we loved each other. We had a very deep and abiding love and we quibbled, and we were like a married couple in real life, actually. But I had been drinking too much, and Ralph got me sober, and
wow.
It was a true love relationship, and I think we knew that if we tried to have an affair or anything like that, we'd spoil it. And so we didn't. We were just smart. Once in my life.
I love hearing that it was a happy set on the Waltons because I love older television shows, and with the 50th anniversary, that's very comforting to know that it was sort of like a slice of happiness that brought into our living room. However, I know that Evan Peters in Monster has gotten the reputation for staying in character and really embracing the character of Dahmer, and you had so many scenes with him that was just the two of you. Was there any lightness on that set at all? Or what was the feeling?
That's a great question.
Because I mean, you got dark subject matter. You've got him as one of the villains of all time. He's a
scary guy. He gets scary roles all the time.
So, what was the mood on the set of Monster when you were shooting those scenes, particularly the one-on-ones?
Frankly, I think everyone was relieved because my scenes with Evan were just grandma and grandson, and there was no blood or killing or anything. Although, so. I think everyone was it was a very mellow set, and the crew were fabulous, and Evan is so adorable as a human being and so charming as Jeffrey, at least in my scenes, that all I did was love him. And it
Wow,
was easy.
that's such a good answer. And as far as one of my all-time favorite actors, Richard Jenkins, who
Yes.
plays the father.
Oh, yeah, he's wonderful.
It's just the cast is stunningly good on this on this project. It was. I tell me he's a good guy to work with because I'm a big fan.
Very generous guy. I felt like I'd known him all my life. Yeah. And Evan, too. Evan made a point of coming, he was in every single scene, but he made a point of coming to my trailer to say goodbye on my last day, and he couldn't have been a nicer person to work with. Very present, very there. So that's what you need when you're, especially doing film. You want to be sure that the person you're working with is there for you. Some actors are selfish, and when it comes to your close-up, they sort of just drift away. Mm-hmm. But Evan was very generous and very present and very sweet.
So with your stage work, you're as you said, you're still working, and boy, are you working. You have worked. It's run the gamut. You've done a lot of stage work. I see things like Driving Miss Daisy. That jumps out. It's just. Have you ever had any long breaks in between projects where you've just enjoyed the fruits of your labor and chilled out a little bit?
Well, yeah, the last few years as I get older. Not older, as I'm old. I told my friend Judy that my best friend since in utero, actually. There's a picture of our mother's belly to belly at 9 months.
Wow.
In their nice 1930s dress, they're so all dressed up with hats and stuff. But anyway, I said, Judy, we're not getting older anymore. We've arrived.
What do you do as far as, in your free time? Do you enjoy your grandkids? Because you really, I have to say, you have been around for a while, but you're very present. And living down in Southwest Florida, I bump into a lot of people down here every day, Michael, that are not really present. You seem like you are. I think somebody's out there keeping you young, and certainly keeping you young of mind. Has anyone ever said that to you? Because you do sound. I feel like I'm interviewing you when you just got off the set of The Waltons right now. Yeah. I really do feel like that. You sound
nice
the same.
To hear, especially at this hour in the morning. So
that
level. My coffee. I'm so far so good.
That level of celebrity.
I'm in a lovely marriage, and I worked hard as a young woman, and I had a lot of emotional obstacles I had to overcome within myself, and I worked hard at those, and I think I've been rewarded with a really gifted old age, and I'm there. I am old. And I feel young. I still take dance classes, and life is good. I have a good marriage. I just lost my little dog, and that I'm still grieving. I'm reading Cicero's writing on grief. It's called How to Grieve, and it's so depressing. My God, he was a very unhappy man. I think gave it to my son to read, and I just texted him this morning and said, "Don't read it; it'll just give you a downer."
You talk about working when you were younger, and the pressure I would imagine in those days of being on a show like The Waltons, where you would go out and everybody was watching that. That is certainly in television. That level of notoriety doesn't exist that much anymore. What was the experience like at the peak of The Waltons? When you left the show, I think 1978 or 79, it was like breaking news, major news. People were mad about it. I mean, that level of celebrity, certainly in the area of television, does not come along, even during that era, that much. So what was that experience like?
Well, I don't know about leaving the show. I really felt they had done as much as they could for me as an actor. They just wanted me. Earl Hamner, I said, do I really have to say time for bed one more time? And spend 15 hours on a set to do that? Which was very ungrateful of me as I look back. But, he said, well, we just want your presence on the screen. And I said, but do you know how boring that is for me? And so they let me go with love, and they didn't kill me off, which was nice. They gave me room to come back and do a movie of the week every now and then, and I was lucky in that way. And I moved on and did a series called Nurse, which was more interesting for me. It took place in New York, which I love, and I had things that were a little more interesting to play in that series.
Won an Emmy for that one, too.
I did. I know. Wasn't that great?
Yeah, I wanted to actually ask you about Nurse, because I think it was a fantastic show. I remember it, and it was universally embraced by the critics. But the run seemed like it was cut short. You had to realize you were doing some great work, especially when you got the Emmy. How frustrating is it when the public doesn't grab onto something that's good like that?
Well, I think it was doing okay in the ratings. It wasn't doing badly. It was holding its own. But I think really the producer, Jay Preston Allen, did not get along with. I'm blanking on his name, and I think Brendan Stoddard. I think they didn't get along. Mm-hmm. And then I was working 19-hour days, so I was exhausted. And we were getting scripts from Los Angeles that had things like she goes home to her apartment in Harlem and soaks in her hot tub, you know.
That's not right.
So we were constantly, Robert Reed and I, we were constantly sort of trying to rewrite on the, just before we were doing a scene, we were kind of rewriting and saying, no. And even to the point where I said, in New York, you have locks on the doors. The set didn't have any locks on any of her doors. And I said, in New York, you've got 3 or 4 locks on your door, and it's just pro forma. So little tiny things like that, which bugged the heck out of me. Because
I want to get the plug in here.
For something to be real.
I want to get the plug in that there will be a Waltons reunion that's coming up November 17th. It's going to be at the historic Max Factor building in Hollywood. You can come and participate in a Q&A with the cast and a rare photo op with the family. Tickets go on sale Wednesday at 12 noon and can be purchased by visiting the website, which is thehollywoodmuseum.com. And the longevity of it and the fact that it's held on for so long that people still know you from the Waltons, I would imagine that for somebody in your line of work, that it doesn't get much more gratifying than that, I would imagine.
It's very rewarding. It truly is.
That's great. We wish you the best of luck. It was such an honor talking to you.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. And thank you so much for getting up so early in the morning to chat with us on the Mike O'Mara Show. And congratulations on the success of the current project and all the work that you've done. Michael Learned, it was a pleasure talking with you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. You made it easy. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sweet.
That's nice to hear that. Thank you very much.
Sweet.
Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. That for me was a situation where growing up was I don't have many memories. I have the Ed Sullivan Show
right
when I was really little. I have Mary Tyler Moore. Then with my mom and my sister, I had Medical Center. Yeah. That was theirs. They didn't miss that.
Wow.
But the Waltons. Really was the whole fam. When I say the whole fam, my dad would be in and out of all that stuff.
Yeah,
right.
But that was a staple.
It was just
appointment television.
Yeah, and I had a crush. I had a crush. I'm glad they.
You told her. She blushed.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I texted her your number just like you asked.
How happy is
so
you?
Fun. but really, she's so grounded and so low key. And she's got that kind of vibe that you know why she gets the work because she's
not
chill.
A diva.
And I know that if I was in that arena, in the acting arena, that every audition that I would go on, it would be like, blah, 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 and I'm not Martin Short, so that's not going to work. I just I don't know.
Can you believe she had to audition? I mean, it's almost like the role.
Dahmer.
Yeah, the role was like written for her. Almost.
Because
That's the real world.
The years. Because of the
years.
Probably the cast, the crew members, the people, the casting directors probably would say, let's see if she's right.
Yeah, I suppose.
The thing I didn't get a chance to ask her about because I didn't quite know how to phrase it, but you guys have watched Dahmer. In those scenes with the grandmother, she talks about, well, I was just showing him the love of it. But there's that underlying,
there's tension.
Is he going to put her in the freezer?
There's so much tension. There's so much tension in the scenes.
With that. And then when I was getting ready for this interview, I'm looking at that incredible cast, Molly Ringwald, and you've got Richard Jenkins and Penelope Ann Miller. It's just like on and on and on. Yeah, go ahead, Oscar.
I'm sorry. Before I lose this thought, one, how honest she was even years later about her sobriety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's telling of someone that really is self-aware of themselves and willing to answer a question like that. Because unless you're looking for that, you don't see that, right?
Right.
So she shared that with us. Matt Bloom was, chomping at the bit to the question he passed to Rob and I. We held off.
Yeah.
Out of respect. Was
oh no!
Please ask her if she'd be willing to do a crossover of the Waltons and Monster.
Pony.
Yes, Mike.
What's wrong with you?
It would explain the disappearance of Will Geer, Mike.
I didn't ask about Will Geer.
And Ellen
Will
Corby.
Geer, who was just the classic old, hey.
Two great old people on that show.
Matt, that's not this type of show.
Yeah, Matt.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry.
How dare you?
You didn't watch the Waltons. You're too young.
This is true.
I knew he was vested interest in the interview when I said you can get our guest on the phone. You said, okay, I'll put him on hold.
Yeah.
I said put
Yeah,
well,
Michael is a woman, you moron. All right.
Isn't sexuality like fluid these days?
Yeah, I suppose.
Gender fluid. Mike, the key is that he's an 80s baby, Matt.
Yes.
80s
True.
baby.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. That type of TV fame does not exist. Where
You're
there
right.
wasn't a person
You're right.
in an office, in a school, anywhere you would go who wouldn't know who she was. And I'm not talking about, Olivia Walton, because I didn't remember the name
this
Olivia.
Is Bieber fame. She was Bieber famous.
Oh,
Justin
yeah.
Bieber
She
famous.
was Bieber famous,
Yes.
and everybody knew the name because the name was so cool. And she was she had a cool that even on a show. And she's right about the Waltons tackled, as the show continued, heavier issues, going to war, racism, those type. It did deal with those issues, if I remember correctly.
Speaking of her name, I read the first 3 seasons or so. Her credit read Miss Michael Lerner
because they wanted
people to learn it.
Not Lerner. She doesn't own the Nationals.
Not
Come on.
yet. Not yet.
And Matt, and for those of you not in the know, maybe if you're a Bruce Lee fan like I am, she was in Dragon. I just didn't want to derail the entire
The
conversation.
Bruce Lee story?
Yes.
You mean the new one?
The movie.
Really?
Yeah, from 10 years ago?
Did she
20
play
years ago?
Bruce Lee's adopted grandmother?
Yes,
or
something like that. Yeah.
She said to Bruce Lee that when he's having
tell
a
you
frozen dinner, not to skip the dessert. It's the best
Do you think
part.
Quentin Tarantino didn't like Bruce Lee? And that's why in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he lets him get Brad Pitt kick the crap out of him?
It seems like
There's
that,
a lot,
doesn't it? Yeah.
It was off-putting to see Bruce Lee in that light.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he gets his ass little thumped and throws him into the car.
But also
Great
not
scene.
undeservedly, because he's acting like a dick before that. I wonder if there's any truth to the fact that, he sort of prompted and brought it on himself.
I don't know. I mean, he could kick people's ass.
Does
So he
anybody
might
know,
have,
and I want to ask her about D.C., but I want to be a rube, like where she grew up in the D.C.
Oh, she only
area.
lived here till she was 6.
Okay, thank
Her
God.
father was in the
That's
OSS.
why I didn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's why I knew that,
Thank you.
I didn't pursue that. So let me move on and just tell you that I wake up this morning, right before we wake Michael up. I turn on the local news and I go, great. You guys are probably not even aware of this. Another tropical storm, potentially a Cat 1 hurricane, hitting South Florida.
Oh my God.
Yeah, another one. And this one is out in the Atlantic, off the coast of Florida, up higher, and it's going to do this like squiggly loop-de-loo because of a high-pressure system coming back in. And I wake up this morning and go, great. Fantastic. And they're talking about now, once again, is it going to go north? Is it going to go south? Is it going to be a tropical storm or a low-level hurricane? It's just, I can't, we have had
What
two
is it like
hurricanes.
when they spot it like that, is like a 10-day course they start
Good
planning?
question. I
Yeah,
don't know
kind
that.
of. And it looks like, and the guy this morning, the weather guy, who I like, I forgot what his name is, but he said, looks like a comma. And I'm like, thank you. And they show the track, right? Yeah. You know how these tracks normally have those nice little curves? This is like bleep, bleep,
this one's doing
coming
electric
down there.
slide.
As a rule, Mike, you want every hurricane correlated to a grammar thing. If it can look like a comma, a semicolon, anything like that, it helps you to understand.
And if it's an exclamation point, kiss your ass goodbye.
Forget it. You're dead.
So I wake up to that. And so really, if you're
what's
talking
the mood
about...
when they break that news down there? Is there a little bit of excitement?
No, there's a little
it's
bit, really,
somber.
a little bit of fear in the part of the meteorologist who's the messenger.
Yeah.
Bringing that. Now, this is going to be on the other side of the state, which is fine. But the track I saw today, the cone, which is this squiggly cone, covers my whole area down here again. And by the way, there are still people. This is Tarp City down here. Everybody has tarps over their roofs where the damage was. So anyway, I wanted to say sorry about this, but Mother Nature. Thanks for the only 2 hurricanes. Hey, right in my backyard. Yeah, listen, somebody's going, well, you live in Florida. Yeah, well, lick it. Lick my Irish bag, if you're telling me that. I know I do, but even with that,
Not after the last hurricane.
Yeah, why don't you do weather on TV? I would love that take on it.
Oh, I'd love to be a weatherman.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
By the way, I would
Here's
not
Mike
be
right
O'Mara.
now.
Here's Mike O'Mara with Irish bag weather.
Yeah, I would not be a meteorologist. I don't know. I would be a weatherman,
Like Willard.
like Willard or Don O'Brien.
Yes.
Or
You'd have fish in your
How'd
coat.
you get them fish in your coat?
Because really, before the age of meteorologists, where it was all certified meteorologists, they were DJs that became weathermen
That was the
and
track.
sportscasters. Yeah, that was the track.
I had a
DJ,
morning
you do
show
that.
host at WHFS. His name was Graham, and he left radio to become a weatherman in Denver, Colorado.
Sure.
He said, "I'm
Yeah.
off to TV."
A lot of guys made that
When I was
transition.
when I was forced to take TV classes to get my degree at VCU, every teacher to a person said, "You know what, Spiewak, you'd make a good weatherman." I said, "'Cause I'm fat." And
You were jolly back then. I imagine.
always jolly, always
Your
jolly.
phony jolliness would be, I think, perfect for it.
But I took a meteorology class.
You're a white roker, is what you are.
Oh, Mike, no, I don't think so.
You would be just like Al Roker.
Okay,
if you
on
were
TV
television.
maybe, but in real life, I'm not a white roker.
Well, you don't know what Al Roker's like in real life unless you had a dinner with him or something. I bet he's as sinister and cynical and
I've
and
never
caustic
soiled
as you
myself
can
in the
be.
White House.
Did he do that?
Yes, he did after his stomach surgery.
What about your car?
What about my car?
Have you ever soiled yourself in your car?
No, not in my car.
I have.
I soiled myself at WJFK.
Things happen.
Did you ever soil yourself at work?
Let's be honest for once.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have, but not in my car. Okay. No.
I still remember the colors, like a red checked boxer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else. I was going to say, you got to get to a doctor.
No, it's gross.
No,
Red
red checked boxers that ended up in the down at the bottom of the trash at WJFK.
Did you get a thank you note from Ben?
No, Ben wouldn't know because it was
got thrown
plastic.
away.
That's
You
true.
stack
It was
up.
plastic. You just cover it with everything
when
else.
you said
And-
work, what era of work? Recent?
No, it was the WJFK era.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You want to
recent.
elaborate?
Okay.
Yeah, I was so broke that there was not like a lot of food at the house because I was living with Carrie and we didn't have a lot of food. And I got up and there was nothing for breakfast. I had to come into an early shift. I think it was a weekend early shift. And for some reason, it was around the holidays. And they had boxes of Monster cereal. And I ate because I was starving and had nothing else to eat. I ate like a box of Boo Berry dry.
This is a great story.
That is really filled with, as someone who cereals
Yeah.
can just rip you
And
to shreds.
it was a great idea
No
when
milk
I
or
got
with
there.
milk?
No, dry. And it was great when I got there at about 5:45, but about 11, the urgency and you know what's amazing? what goes in blue can come out green, and not just green, but like a beautiful Kelly green.
Yeah,
It was-
because of the food coloring.
Yeah, but
that they
also,
have in there.
you had to try and time it in between the jazz records because it was a weekend shift.
So
And
you weren't you weren't voicing, were you?
no, we never. No one was allowed to talk on the weekends.
That's it. So you didn't have to worry about that.
No,
right?
no,
You
no,
just
no,
had to
no.
time it.
More
And there's
like,
probably nobody in the building.
JFK.
Ooh, you're loud.
More like
You're loud.
Pooh Berries, am I right?
Hey, that was
Hey,
terrific.
bada bing.
Yeah.
How about you, Skippy? Did you ever have a little accidento?
Not at work. I've gambled, and as I used to say on Big O and Dukes, and ashed, gambled and ashed, driving from WJFK home to Olney when I lived with my roommates, my parents.
It's one of the greatest
lots of
jokes
traffic.
ever.
In my mid
Did you
20s.
know it was coming, or was it an accident?
Oh, I thought it was going to be something else, and then it
Okay.
turned
Air.
into something
He was
else,
expecting
right?
air.
Yeah.
By the way, for me, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
My
Not for me.
sister.
I knew there was trouble.
Really?
My-
Just couldn't handle it.
when
Yeah,
when
it
I
was
was gearing
nasty.
up for what was that television show? The Regulars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My sister said mentioned something about diuretics. Don't overdo it because I want to get skinny for camera. Right.
Right.
Definitely crap myself driving to Harper's Ferry. That was brutal.
What kind of diuretics were you, were you taking? Lasik or something?
That's
like?
a water pill. That shouldn't affect your.
I don't know. I got something and it didn't work out.
Yeah, but that's what it would be.
Yeah,
Water.
yeah.
Water would be in the
Yeah.
system.
Well, the
you know?
the diuretics.
Well, I mean, no, doesn't it dry up the water in
No,
your
no, you
system?
pass water. You
Yeah.
pee all the time. That's why I had to stop taking it before I came into work. But there was definitely some instances of seepage when I was on heavy diuretics.
There's nothing like driving with your ass hovering over your seat because you don't want to stain your seat because you don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a manual transmission car, so you had to shift and then hover.
The last thing you want to do is exert.
Yeah, and
That
you're-
was rough shifting, I bet.
Yeah, you're,
right?
you're engaged. Like
That's a
your
lot
core
of
is
this.
engaged.
Oh my god! I didn't.
What is
don't
the
have
matter with that
technique.
guy in front of me?
I swear I had paper towels in here.
Oh my God! It's a shame we didn't get a chance to ask Michael Learned about that.
Oh, it's all in the book, Mike.
Yeah. It's all in the book. Great. We'll take a break. Rob, get that level right. I'm still getting this an awful lot
Booming
today.
to you.
But,
All right.
yeah. But we'll take a break. Come back with the homepage and more fun and more thrills. You are listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, guys, it's going to be a long night, so I brought along Michael McDonald.
Hi there. You don't know me, but I'm your brother. I'm kidding, of course. No, I'm overrated soul music superstar Michael McDonald. I'm out on tour doing favorites like Taking It to the Streets, I Keep Forgetting, the entire Doobie Brothers back catalog, and of course my #1 hit, What a Fool Believes. When me and the boys on the bus aren't playing the hits, we're listening to the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Minute by minute, it's the funniest content available. Get a subscription by clicking the link at MikeO'MaraShow.com and Yamo be there.
If I hear Yamo be there one more time, I'm going to Yamo burn this place to the ground.
Michael McDonald and the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Accept no imitations.
That's a lot of work for that. Anyway, welcome. Silly. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Good job.
I mean, didn't we have like
welcome.
a recording session for that?
We had a recording session with that, and he obviously didn't have a lot to work with me. Anyway, and you were on it too, Rob.
No,
doing
it was a duet.
It was
we
more-
were both,
yeah.
we were both there.
Well, we kind of phoned it in. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. Let me just do this and this and this. There we go. Does your lawn have weeds, bare patches, or pet spots? Sunday can help solve all these problems before winter rolls around.
That's winter rolling around, Oscar.
The easy way. They've got everything you need from fertilizer to seeds to weed control. It's all delivered right to your door. I used to dread taking the time and effort to fertilize my lawn. I used to have one of those little things you push, but now I look forward to it because you do it with your garden hose. Sunday's lawn care products are quick and easy. I don't even have to go to the store. They deliver it to you. Sunday Lawn Care is the best. Just go to getsunday.com. Put in your address, and their lawn analysis tool does the rest so you can have a beautiful lawn. They use soil and climate data to create a personal nutrient plan delivered to your door right when you need it. Sunday's lawn care products are made with your family in mind. That's why they use ingredients you can feel good about, like seaweed, iron, and molasses. Best of all, it really works. I've used it, and I know. Sunday is offering our listeners 20% off. Full season plans start at just $129. You can get 20% off at checkout when you visit getsunday.com/TMOS. That's 20% off your custom plan at getsunday.com/TMOS. Do it today.
From the four corners of the World Wide Web and into your digital device, it's what you need to know. This is the homepage.
This is the homepage, and we start with a sad story. Aaron Carter found dead over the weekend in Lancaster, California. They found him on Saturday. He was only 34. Of course, substance issues for a good chunk of his adult life. Aaron's house sitter found his body in the bathtub around 11 a.m., called 911. No word yet on the cause of death. I think they'll probably find out. Authorities say they found no evidence of foul play. After selling millions of albums in the late 90s and early 2000s, Aaron struggled with substance abuse and went to rehab several times. Just such a tragedy when somebody dies that young. His most recent stint was this past September after he lost custody of his son, Prince, who will be a year old later this month. Prince's mother, Melanie Martin, issued a statement saying, quote, "We are still in the process of accepting this unfortunate reality. Your thoughts and prayers are greatly appreciated." Melanie referred to Aaron as her fiance. Seems like they were kind of on and off. If he lost custody, that was probably quite a tumultuous relationship. So it's part of that famous family too.
As I guess I followed his career for just because you had to at that point.
Sure.
He was so relevant with his hit, "What I Want Candy."
Yeah.
When, for those of you that even care, during the TRL days. What shocked me when I started reading about this, Mike, is the vast fortune he lost at his parents' management because of his parents' management of his fortune.
Yeah, they screwed him.
Yeah. And this day and age,
same old story.
This day and age, the fact that happens with a digital footprint,
I know,
is shocking.
Yeah, and imagine the pressures of being a child star anyway, being that young and that famous so early, and then throw in the fact that your parents, what is that going to do to your psyche when you find out mom and dad are screwing you? I mean, that's just got to be horrible. And, once again, that's been close to me with my daughter's boyfriend when he passed due to an overdose, and it just sucks. And there's just I've looked at it for so many angles. Not personally, because it really wasn't. I didn't even know the person.
Yeah, but
so
your loved one removed you.
My loved one.
Yeah.
And you look at it from 20 different angles and say, where do you fix? And it's really hard, especially when there's something floating around like fentanyl. It's very, 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 very sad. Let's get on to a happier track here. Dolly Parton formally inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Saturday, as usual. She was adorable. After accepting the honor, she said, "I guess I'm a rock star now." She's funny. She knows how to do it. She also addressed her decision to remove herself from the nomination process, only to gracefully accept it when the hall wouldn't take no for an answer. Here's her quote. "A lot of you knew that back when they said they were going to put me in, I didn't feel like I'd done enough to deserve that. I didn't understand at the time that it's about more than that, but I'm honored and so proud to be here tonight." As promised, she wrote a new song for the night. It's called Rockin', and she performed it while wearing a leather outfit.
Nice.
Way to go, Dolly. I love that. Do you have it?
I have actually something akin to that. When they did the closing concert jam, she sang Jolene, along with Annie Lennox, Pat Benatar, Rob Halford, Sheryl Crow. But here's the thing. HBO isn't going to release the footage of the induction for another couple weeks. So what we have is some fan audio from the audience. So it's not exactly right, but you can hear she's still getting it done.
Love that song.
Yeah, that's a rock song, really, if you get right down to it.
Written, of course, about a very special lady in Las Vegas, Nevada.
There's a verse about Lindt chocolates in there.
Very, very excited. As you obviously know by now, the Houston Astros won the World Series on Saturday by beating the Phillies. Sorry, Al. 4-1 in Game 6. What you you're right.
You're on that. You're still on that. Yeah.
What you may not know is that a major record was set that had nothing to do with the action on the field. There's a guy they call him a Houston furniture tycoon, Jim Mackingvale, better known as Mattress Mac. I guess if you're down in the Texas area,
this guy's prolific.
Yeah.
He bet a total, are you ready for this, of $10 million on the Astros to win the series. And because they did, he pocketed a record $75 million. He placed several different bets, but the biggest one was at Caesars, where the payout was $30 million. I bet they're happy about that.
Sure.
Caesars called, quote, the biggest check in sports betting history.
Yes.
I don't even know what the odds were before the series because I don't follow it that closely. I don't know who was favored to win, whether it was the Phillies or the Astros, but who knows? The bet would indicate that the Phillies were not favored.
They were not favored.
Not
they were
favored.
not favored.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. It's not clear if any of that cash will end up in Mac's own pockets, but it's part of his classic.
I bet it does.
It's part of his classic, if the Astros
Got a
win,
promotion.
you win promotion, where he uses his winnings to give out massive deals to customers. So he's promoting his business, which means he didn't really pay for the bet.
No, he
For-
didn't.
That's it.
But he's
No, you
lost.
can't bet. You can't use anything for gambling. You can't do it. I don't think you
You
get away
can
with
if
that.
you don't get caught.
Yeah, no, but he's lost in the past. This is
He
an
has.
annual bet that he makes
Okay.
in the Houston area, and and sometimes he parlays it into like Super Bowl, so it doesn't have to be about the Astros or the Houston Texans.
All right, so we should watch, and Rob, keep an eye out for the audio if there's a commercial he comes on where, guess what? I'm selling this sofa to you today for $1.
It's
And the
similar to
entire-
that. Like if you win, if we
I heard-
win,
If
I
like if
win,
they
you
win,
win.
yes.
I heard his
correct.
promotion is any purchase made during the time limit leading up to the World Series over $3,000, you get for free.
Yeah. No, there's something like that.
Yeah.
that is
That's
literally
amazing.
that hedges the bet.
Meanwhile, the
Wow.
casino approached him and says, in an unprecedented move, you give us our money back.
That's Lost in America right there. The Desert Inn has heart. The Desert Inn has heart. Anyway,
done
moving right
talking.
along. There's a tech startup. You're going to like this, Oscar. You love your gadgets. It's in Pittsburgh. It's called Shift Robotics. Trending now thanks to their new battery-powered shoes.
Oh,
That make you walk up to 250% faster.
wow.
Listen to this. They're called Shift Moonwalkers and kind of look like roller skates, but they're designed to let you walk like normal. Basically, you're walking and rolling at the same time, which sounds tough, but they use AI to adapt to the way you walk so you don't trip or fall. I'm not sure if it'd be a good idea for seniors.
Oh, no.
You can't drift in them, so they're not like skates or
Right.
those Heeley shoes with wheels that kids wear. The wheels stay locked unless you're walking, so you can go up and down stairs in them. And there's a feature to limit your top speed when you're walking downhill. The downsides is they strap to your shoes, so they kind of look bulky and a little ugly.
Like corrective
And-
shoes.
Oh, and the other downside, the price tag. You can pick up a pair of these for $1,400.
Yeah, but this is great for American industry. I picture these in an Amazon warehouse. Let's get the packages moving faster.
Always looking out for the little guy.
Let's get to a Walmart, get a little customer service moving faster, right?
Right. Well, you have your way of looking at it. I have I'm thinking, man, I'll get that round of golf done in 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic. They're available for pre-order on Kickstarter for a little less than that right now. Oh, isn't that good? Christmas right around the corner.
See you next year,
and
Kickstarter.
They ship in March, everybody. And now a little something. There's a woman who stabbed a customer inside a New York City steakhouse on Friday after becoming annoyed by his argument with a staff member. The victim is a 24-year-old male. He had gotten into an argument with a worker. I would assume it's probably a waitress.
Yeah.
At the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Manhattan. Probably a pretty nice joint.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're all a little better in New York.
Yeah.
That's according to the NYPD. Two female patrons sitting at an adjacent table became irate about the disturbance. One of the women then approached the man with a knife and proceeded to stab him in the back. Both women then fled the restaurant. Police and EMS workers got there, and the 24-year-old was transported to an area hospital. He's in stable condition. No one had been arrested in connection with the incident as of Saturday. If the guy's being a dick to the waitress, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was saying, well, do you see where they went? No, I didn't see where they went at all. They said that nobody had been arrested by Saturday morning, according to police. Incidences like this are rare in high-dollar steakhouses. They're actually medium rare. Am I right, ladies? That's what I said. You left too early. You left too early.
I'm sorry. It was funny.
Medium rare. Yeah. There you go. Sorry.
The maitre d' was quoted to say, "You guys."
You guys. That's Tommy Giacomo. God rest his soul. All right, that's it. We'll be right back with a big announcement after this.
If you're lost in America and need some laughs, pull off at the next exit for the latest bonus show.
When the rats see me, they know I mean business. Philly doesn't know they're mean and dirty.
Honest to God almighty.
I'm willing to evolve.
Settle down. No, I'm not going to settle down, Rob.
Settle down.
I don't know all the Senate races, but I know Scott Disick. I'm the best man.
But I won't hold her hand.
iPads are horrible.
I'm a mush mouse.
The TMOS bonus show helps prevent breakdowns and delivers more laughs and smiles per mile. Load up on a subscription now at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Oh, by the way, our hairpiece secret is off.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. Moving paper around, moving buttons around, flying through the show. Lots going on. Busy. Come on, commercial. Come up. Where the hell are you? Where the hell are you? Stamps.com. Yeah, that's right. Now we have to turn that all the way off, Rob.
Yeah, we do.
Because it's loud and you didn't know it was this commercial next. Right about now, seasonal excitement or dread is really starting to settle in. Yeah, it's a tough time for people that are sending stuff about, especially small businesses. It's not too late to get your holiday mailing and shipping under control with Stamps.com. Sign up now and you'll be printing your own postage in minutes. For more than 20 years, Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses. You can get access to the USPS and UPS services you need to run your business right from your computer. No lines, no traffic, no hustle. And you can even save money with major discounts on USPS and UPS shipping, up to 86% off. How about that? All you need is a computer and printer, and if you need a package pickup, you can easily schedule it through your Stamps.com dashboard. This holiday season, trade your late nights for silent nights and get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code TMOS for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage, and enter the code TMOS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've asked a lot of you this time of year. We need you to support our fabulous live show. You have delivered on that, and you are selling our tickets very nicely. We're still going in the right direction with that, Oscar.
Brisk. I had a call yesterday with our guy on a Sunday call.
Brisk is good.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
Very good. Always on. No off switch for this man. But there's a little something that you've been inquiring to me about for a good month and a half or so, where you've been asking me, and I'm here to tell you that, well, it's probably best to play this little ditty for you right now. There it is! Just cue me, because I don't know where the F to come in. All right?
Yeah.
God, he said, you'll know it. How the hell am I supposed to know it with all that going on?
Well, it's the same Fruitcake song we've used before. I'm just
I know, but not with...
It's fun.
It's that time of year again. With Halloween, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, no. I don't want to sneeze during the Fruitcake. Hold on.
Stifle it.
Into the elbow.
Bless you.
God damn, I'm allergic. It's that time of year again. With Halloween in the rear view, it's time to look ahead Here come the holidays and all the traditions that come with them. Family, friends, fun, frolic, and perhaps the most important tradition of all, fruitcake! Yes, friends, the TMOS fruitcakes are back. Delicious fruits, a secret blend of nuts, hand-selected spices, combined into a holiday treat that you have to taste to believe. Lovingly baked by hand by Chef Robb and his Yuletide elves and shipped right to your door for the holidays. I cannot wait to wrap my tonsils around one. And as far as inflation goes, screw that! Whether you get the deluxe or the super deluxe TMOS fruitcake packages, the price stays the same as before. But you have to order right now. Right now.
Hold it. Stop the music. When should we order?
Time is a-fleetin', and your window of opportunity is limited, so head on over to MikeO'MaraShow.com and buy as many as you can. If you buy more than 20 fruitcakes,
20,
I will be eternally grateful. And remember, every cake you buy supports your favorite podcast. This is our fundraiser.
Yes,
because of the pandemic and because of everything else, a little later than normal.
We were actually on the fence because of the ingredient costs and timing.
Yes.
If we're going to do this, and the majority of our listeners said you have to do this.
So you got to order fast because we're not going to stretch this
No,
out.
no,
You got to
supply.
order now.
Limited supply.
Yeah, we got a limited time that we're going to be selling these, and we held the prices to last year's prices. They are expensive compared to the crappy ones that you can go down to Walmart and get for well, actually those are expensive too.
Mike,
the difference is ours are worth every penny.
I've been getting flooded in my email box because Facebook is always listening.
Yes.
For like boutique niche fruitcakes.
Yes.
And they tend to be more expensive than ours.
That's right.
And ours are better.
This is
much better.
Exclusive run.
Yes.
Remember, every cake you buy supports your favorite podcast. This is the only fundraiser we do all year. If you like our show, I don't even care if you're not a fruitcake fan. Buy one just to help us out.
Makes
help
a great
brother
gift.
out.
I was working on a tagline for the banner, Mike, that I'll share with the team right after the show here. Robb's dry, but our cakes are still moist.
That's gross.
No, it's a drinking joke. I like that.
I get it, but moist is a word that people hate.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
TMOS Fruitcakes 2023. Get yours at MikeO'MaraShow.com and get ready for the best holiday ever. We are very, very excited for fruitcakes, and I cannot wait. I know you can't wait. The kitchen's all set, the commercial kitchen. We bring everybody in. It's delightful. And you know what? This year, I have never been up there and visited the kitchen and stopped by. This year...
Really?
I'm going to be even more grateful for the people that are coming in and helping you. I think that's fantastic.
Will you FaceTime with us again? That was such a pleasure.
I definitely will do that. That's not a joke. I will do that. I would love to do that. It'll be wonderful. So speaking of food, if we can move on to my little food thing that I wanted to tell you about, I regained my status as a dinner party chef over the weekend.
And I'll do
I did
anything
it
for food. I can eat 2 dozen eggs, 36 pork chops, 24 frankfurters.
Thank you.
I've eaten a dozen bagels at one time.
Yummy.
With 2 packages of cream cheese. I'm never full.
I'm not.
I am never, ever full physically. Never. I stopped at a Jewish deli and had 2 pastrami on clubs, 4 frankfurters, 2 knishes, and then went home and had Chinese food.
You know what troubles me? What is a pastrami on club? Is it a club roll?
Just a club sandwich pastrami.
Okay, all right.
Instead of turkey, it's pastrami because it's got more fat in it.
Better, tastier, saltier.
I think it would be delicious. Yes, Oscar.
For those keeping score at home, when you lived in Manassas, you had what was, I think, the low of lows for you hosting dinners. You messed up a stew or a brew or something.
That happened down here.
Oh, okay.
The most recent, when I cooked a roast at Christmas time, and my sister was visiting for Christmas, and I put it. some website somewhere had said you can turn the oven off and after the prescribed time, and it'll keep it warm.
Right.
And I pulled it out and cut into it, and it was gray from the top through the. As everybody said at the dinner, it was very moist.
There's that
but
word again.
Yes.
It was very. It's very. It's moist. That's the word. I know you don't like the word moist, but it was
And then there was you did something with. It was a Paula Deen. Was it a stuffing that had too much butter in it?
I did that up in Manassas where the stuffing was wretched that I made.
Wretched.
And it was horrible. It was like watery, nasty, overly buttered black. I didn't like it at all. But that's what I do. I'll be watching. Carla will have on the Food Network, and I will come in and I'll say, oh, that's interesting. And I love Emily Blunt. And Ina Garten has this new show called, Guess with Ina or something like that. I don't even know what the name of the show is. And Emily Blunt is the guest, and she does a little interview, and then she cooks something. And she made what was called turkey bolognese. Well, I'm a big advocate with the weight loss journey I've been on using ground turkey.
Yes.
Very lean ground turkey. And so I'm watching, turkey bolognese. I like bolognese, like a nice little tomato. Yum, yum, yum.
What's a bolognese for those that aren't foodies?
It's a meat sauce. It's a pasta meat sauce.
But it's it's not just meat and tomato sauce. There's all kinds of vegetables in it. It's a very long process to make a proper bolognese. It's a really, really elegant sauce.
It's very, very delicious. And I had 4 people over. Was it 4? If you count the kid, Michael had a sleepover, so 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people I'm cooking for. If you count the kids, it's 6 people. And
but 8 is a good number. 8 is a good number.
Well, but I really don't like doubling or tripling recipes. I really don't. Makes me nervous because especially when you triple a recipe, you don't know. It's the different thing. But I'm here to tell you, when you see people taking the little spoon out and going for seconds and just piling it on the plate there, and I made enough for an army. 2 pounds of pasta. You would think that if you look at the box, it's basically 2 boxes of the fusilli. And but I will tell you, it just made enough for an army. And Emily Blunt, not only are you a phenomenal actress, not only are you a beautiful woman, not only are you married to a very, very funny and talented actor in John Krasinski, but not only are you Jimmy Kimmel's best buddy, but I will tell you, lady, you can cook. You can cook.
Thumbnail in a minute or so your turkey bolognese.
Okay, here's the big difference. All right, it doesn't have tomato chunks or tomato sauce in. It uses the only tomato infusion is a tomato paste.
Yes.
You put tomato paste. You put a little whole milk in. Mm-hmm. You put a little white wine in. You put garlic. You put onions. You puree some celery and carrot, and then you put it all together. And you use a lot of Parmesan Reggiano. Hey, that's what you do, and you make it the best of the food.
Amazing.
And I was so happy, and I just wish that I hadn't consumed the Fisher's Island lemonade as I was cooking, because after I drank that sweet drink, I was drinking wine with dinner, and I woke up and I had a heavy head. I had a big heavy head. And Mrs. O'Mara, and then, by the way, I had another sample of a fine Mike O'Mara show advertiser at the end of the evening, too. Had me a little dadgrass gummy.
Aren't they
At the end of the
fantastic?
evening. Yeah. I don't know. I was probably having too much wine to realize how good they were. But I'm trying another one tonight. The nighttime
Take 3.
one.
Yeah. I found the 2 are quite effective.
Yeah, 3, you'll have dreams.
Yeah.
Like fun dreams.
And you know
the
what?
nighttime ones?
Yes.
Don't take it if you have one more thing to do before bed.
No,
take it and then go to bed.
It won't affect them. No, this isn't. Look, I'm the sleep gummy expert.
Woo woo.
Yeah, no, I've had the Grizzly Brownie. When we were in Vegas, that rocked me. This nighttime is nice and smooth, but
it comes on. It does.
It's a ratio of size to person. So
all right, well, I'm going to try 2 then.
Okay, try 2.
2 works good for me.
2.
I'm scared.
I take 3.
Anyway, that's it. I had a good dinner party.
But don't eat it like a bag of gummy bears either.
Yeah, and they're tasty, so don't. Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, boy, to wake up to that when there's a sleepover. So Michael had a sleepover, and I walk out and I said, I didn't realize that 8 people could each use 4 different glasses. I mean, my house, look, it was a train wreck.
The counter, I'm guessing the sink was full and the counter
everything was full.
Yeah.
Everything was full.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And we were not feeling well, but we're fine today. We're absolutely
In fact,
A-okay.
I never do.
Back to never do. Got to take a break, come back. Robb's mom got a creepy phone call,
Yes.
Oscar. He was telling me that before you got here. I'm dying to hear about it. We will do that and lots more right here. Well, not really lots more. We're going to do that, and then Rob's going to do sound. We're going to leave.
But we'll do
we're
more
gonna come back tomorrow. Yeah, we will. We'll come back and buy a fruitcake. We'll be right back with more. By 2. Yes, by 2. Mike O'Mara Show coming back with more right after this.
TMOS traverses the internet and boldly goes into new territory.
Podcasting as we know it will be changed forever as TMOS brings you the future now.
It's the TMOS TikTok Takeover.
Catch the unrivaled comedy on the go, live as it happens.
Laughs tailor-made for your busy lifestyle.
It's the TMOS TikTok Takeover. Technology,
synergy,
and all the your pants hilarity that you've come to expect from TMOS.
It's TMOS streaming live on TikTok.
Watch it.
It's about damn time.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Whether you're discovering new places around town or really going the distance, you can experience even more with a electric e-bike. The brand new Electric XP 3.0 is designed to handle tougher terrain and longer trips while giving you their best ride yet. Right now, for a limited time, you can save up to $250 on their Black Friday bundle with the purchase of any 3.0 light or premium electric e-bike. But it's only available now through November 25th. You can go up to 45 miles on one charge and reach up to 28 miles per hour with the powerful 500-watt motor, which is now quieter with more torque for more power with less noise. And both Oscar and Shannon have them, and you tool all over town with them. I mean, they're great, right?
Figured out through the accessories that they have on their website that we can bring Santos in a little pet carrier they sell. If you've got a kid or you want to bring your friend along, they have a little accessories so someone can actually be on the back of the electric bike. There's so many different options.
Wow.
Yeah.
Electric e-bikes. They're fantastic. They're foldable. They ship free, fully assembled. You'll be on the road in no time. They include a removable battery, a bright LCD display, 7-speed gearing, and 5 levels of pedal assist to power your ride. It's their smoothest ride yet. Start your next adventure with Electric XP 3.0 today. Order now and save up to $250 with a special Black Friday bundle. Visit electricebikes.com to learn more. That's LECTRIC ebikes.com, and I am seeing them everywhere.
Yes.
Nice to be on the cutting edge of that. So Robb Spiewak came in today, and I said, how was your weekend? He said, well, it was all right, but my mom got a weird and creepy phone call.
I was more upset than she was about it. The other day, I talked to my mom.
Was it from your dad?
No, it wasn't. As a matter, but he's part of the story.
It's Condo Bob. What are you wearing?
Stop it! How dare you?
I'm sorry. All right.
So I talk to my mom almost every day, and certainly on the way home from work. And she said, "Funny thing happened today." I said, "What?" She said, "Well, she has that thing on her cable box that if she's watching TV and a phone call comes in, the phone number
they'll tell you who's calling.
Yeah, it goes up. But it said unknown name." And an area code. She says, "What is that area code? I think that's Charlottesville." And she said, "I wouldn't normally pick it up," but I said, "You know what? We've got some relatives in Charlottesville." So she picked it up, and she said hello. And the guy on the other line, it's a man, says, "Is this Sharon?" And she goes, "Yes." He goes, "Is this Sharon Goddard?" Which is her name. She said, "Yes."
From the Space Center?
He said, "Did you used to be Sharon Stalkup?" Which is her maiden name. She goes, "Yes." And by this time, she's a little creeped out, a little flipped. And then he says, "We probably haven't spoken in 50 years. And you broke my heart." And she's like, who's speaking? And it turned out it was a guy. They didn't go to high school together, but they worked together in the summer of 1968. and they had a couple dates, and he looked her up after all these years, stalked her, and called her.
Now, hold on. He didn't stalk her.
Well, no.
He looked her up and decided to give her a friendly phone call because he had a pleasant experience with her.
But here's the deal. It goes on and they have a discussion, and she says, well, it's nice to hear from you, and are you on Facebook? He says, no. She said, well, how did you find me? He says, well, I saw your father's obituary, and I was able to trace you through that. And they had another little more pleasant conversation, and he said, who is that girl you're pictured with on Facebook? Is that your daughter? So this is what I said. Now hold it.
Hold on a sec. Just
wait. You sprinted ahead there for a second.
I'm intrigued, and please don't strike me as I sit here.
No, that's fine.
When I hear that somebody's looking for somebody after 50 years that they dated,
right,
the first thing I think is Robb's mom must have a magic vagina.
What is that? That is not okay.
No.
Why can't you say she's pretty? She's charming.
He was smitten. He was smitten with her. But what are you talking about? You confused me with the girl. What's going on?
Well, so
what did he say?
She said he asked
Who
her.
said?
The guy that called
is not she. You said she said.
Right. The guy who called asked if the picture that my mom is with on Facebook. There's a.
You
picture.
mean your mom's picture, profile picture?
Mm-hmm. He said, "Is that your daughter?" She said, "No, that's my granddaughter."
Okay,
it's a
so
picture
it's
of Julia. And
right.
I said, "Now hold it, Sharon." And you know, I call my mom by her first name.
Sorry.
I said, "This guy's not on Facebook, but he's using Facebook to look at pictures of you. You're not creeped out by that?"
She's being profiled.
And she said, "Well, I didn't really think of it that way at the time." And I said, "Well, how did the conversation go?" He said, well, he mentioned the time that a group of us, our friends in the 60s, we went up to Ocean City. I said, wait, how old were you when you took a beach trip? She said, I was 18. I said, no way in the world an 18-year-old girl should be going on a beach trip with her friends right now. I don't think that's right.
Oh, did she?
Yes, she did.
Okay, so what's...
Well, I just said that probably was bad parenting on Big Daddy's part.
Well, your kids have gone on trips at 18, maybe younger.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
They're making babies in your own house right now when they come and visit.
They're not here making babies right now. But anyway, here's where it really bothers me.
But you're being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Okay.
But the whole thing was upsetting to me because it's my mom, and it's 50 years that have gone by.
Yeah.
And she said, so what have you been up to? And he gives the whole thing. He says, well, he said to her, you look really good. I'm old and fat and bald now. And she says, I have a hard time believing that. And he
they're
says,
flirting.
He says,
yeah, they are. The sparks are still there.
It's nice to be wanted.
And then he said, actually, I'm not fat and I'm not bald. So
he's playing coy.
Now that's the first thing that creeps me. He's a dick.
Yeah, he is.
Sorry, but that's dickish to do that. But I'm old and fat and bald now. Actually, I'm not. What the hell is that about?
And this is the greatest thing. She says, and they're sort of rehashing their relationship back in the day.
So they definitely had one. This isn't a grift.
No, they dated a few times. And here's the funny thing is he says, all I remember is that you didn't want to go out with me anymore because you were interested in a guy named Bob. Whatever happened with that?
Oh, there he is. Condo Bob, baby.
And she didn't go on to the fact that went really well with Bob, and which is why she had to get married. But she did say, yeah, eventually Bob and I married. We were no longer married. And it just went back and forth. And he mentioned that he had grandkids too. Never brought up his marital status. And then they parted, and my mom called me and walked this whole thing through. I said,
did she ask him if he was still married?
Yeah. No, but he didn't volunteer.
She didn't ask.
She didn't ask.
And ready to mingle?
But he does have kids and grandkids. And she said,
yeah, if she asked him, are you married? That would be forward.
Yeah. I believe
she's
so.
just what he wants.
Play cool.
Yeah. So they're going on, and they have what she described as a pleasant conversation.
Okay.
And it ended there. She called her best friend, who she's known since high school, and said, guess who called me?
Oh, now they're giddy and gossiping.
And she mentioned, and Lynn screamed because she hadn't thought of the guy in 50 years either. And so then my mom calls me.
Was this guy a bit of a hunk?
I bet he was.
He was not, as her description was, he was not a bad-looking guy, and he came from a very moneyed family. His father was high up in Eastern Airlines at the time.
Oh,
and
wow.
I said,
Mr. Eastern?
And I said, well, and you chose Bob. So we're going back and forth, and I said, if I were you, I would be careful because I don't think it's okay to go back and forth and look at an old crush from 50 years ago, but this guy seemed a little forward in reaching out like that. And while I'm talking to my mom, she gets a call waiting, and she looks on her television, and he's calling her back.
Good for him.
After 4 hours. I said, don't you dare pick that up.
Oh, don't be a C-block. Come on.
I said, don't pick it up. He's after something.
Your mom is widowed?
Yes.
She might be lonely, and, I mean, who knows that? But it is.
No, Mike. They don't have
what's his game?
They don't have enough time. The time is running out.
Any of his possible good-naturedness of just trying to say hi, how you doing, is ruined by the fact that he called her back after 4 hours.
Oh.
He might want to date her.
She's probably lonely. She can't talk to her son every Sunday.
I said,
why don't you let her find love again?
I said, any interest? She said no.
Well, she's not going to tell you.
Well, I don't know.
You're the last person she would say if she had. How long were they on the phone together?
The first call, she said probably about 25 minutes, half hour.
Get ready to say daddy again.
It is a long conversation. Yeah.
Your stepfather.
Yeah. What was it like
your
running an
double
airline?
stepfather.
My second stepfather.
Your second stepfather.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So
Well,
anyway,
just think maybe
my
maybe
three dads.
Maybe free trips on Spirit.
Yeah.
Or whatever the old Eastern Airlines is right now.
The airplane crumbled. The whole industry
Maybe
crumbled.
he still has those little wings pilots used to give out.
Yeah, I remember Eastern.
Put one on you.
That's what we had in Connecticut. Eastern flew everywhere.
That's how I came to this country, Mike. Fond memories.
Eastern Airlines.
Yes.
But I will keep you updated if he continues to try to call, because I think the guy is a grade A creep.
Go get him.
I hope she takes the call. We'll be right back.
Facts.
Michael Mara, New Orleans, Sharon Bailey, Angeline, Jim Amato, Dennis Murphy, Paulie, Christine, Oscar, Shannon, Pony, Carrie, Dan O'Brien, shirts so scary. Get your tickets while you can. Say hello to Tony Lamb, Goose Cerrito, Skinny Rob, Chris Fontani, Condo Bob, Carla, Twitch, and Dirk and Reese, and 1,000 Stephanie.
Come out and see the whole gang at the TMOS Live Show, April 15th, 2023 at the House of Blues in New Orleans, Louisiana. For tickets, go to MikeO'MaraShow.com. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. If you love drinking coffee every morning, and who doesn't, you have to check out Trade Coffee. Trade Coffee is a coffee subscription service that makes it simpler for you to discover new coffees and make your best cup of joe at home every day. Trade partners with the nation's top-rated independent roasters to send coffee to your home that you will love and on your preferred schedule. Plus, you get to support small local businesses. A win-win. Even if you're new to specialty coffee and need some help, Trade makes it easy and convenient to discover new coffees. They'll send you ground coffee or whole beans, and Trade guarantees you'll love your first bag, or they'll send you a new one for free. Right now, I am drinking organic Toka tea. I love it. It's a blend with notes of apricot, cacao, and caramel. It is insanely good. Upgrade your coffee today with Trade Coffee and let them take the guesswork out of finding your perfect cup. That's drinktrade.com/TMOS for $30 off your subscription to the best coffees in the country. Remember, drinktrade.com/TMOS.
Sound.
We call this stereophonic sound.
Soundtown.
No matter what's going on, I think we can all agree a great sports weekend in Washington, D.C.
Oh, my God.
As the Redskins lose.
Boy, that's a tough game yesterday.
Yep.
The Commanders. The Commanders.
I'm sorry, the Commanders lose. Yeah. And also, Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals lost on Saturday night.
Can you do me a favor? Because I just can't stand another segment without being able to hear you. Can you turn up to me a little bit. It's so messed up today. It's scary.
I turned it
I
down
just want to be
before.
able to
Listen
hear
to you.
I really am.
Yeah.
Mike, this is technology.
Let me hear.
Better. I bet that's much better.
There
now.
it is. There.
Okay.
That's the real Rob. There we go. Thank you. All
Okay,
right.
so with that being said, one good thing did happen to Ovi over the weekend is that he broke the record for the most goals scored for a single franchise in NHL history, and that's pretty cool. And here's the audio of that call.
Position, Mantha. Slap shot of the way. Score! Alex Ovechkin, the great ace, is number one with one team.
787 goals for the Capitals. And also, Mike, you'll appreciate this because I sent you this isolated as well. Here's Ovi mic'd up when he gets that goal. All right? Love it.
That is, I remember when he got that 10-year contract?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, and everybody was like, wow, they're really betting the house on this guy. And it took a while, but nobody was more motivated to get a Stanley Cup for Washington than that guy. And I think he will always go down as, a guy that loved playing, was so hard-nosed for a goal scorer. Just amazing. Russian machine never breaks. Russian in every way, though, right?
Yeah.
Russian from top to bottom.
The weird thing is, I remember when they were negotiating that 10-year contract, the breaking point is they have finally agreed to it. The Caps agreed to it when they said they didn't have to include dental.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of teeth. Remember his mom? I remember. See, I'm such a big Capitals fan. I remember the mom who looked like he got a lot of his strength from her. She's like, it was.
I wonder if anyone will call her after 50 years.
Way to go, Ovi. Way to go. Congratulations.
This lady on TikTok, I watched this video probably 13 times this morning. It's one of those reaction videos where someone watches someone do something. She's watching someone make popcorn in a walk. And boy, she loves popcorn.
It looks like you're making popcorn. Can I have some? Give me some popcorn. Give me some popcorn right now. I'm craving for some popcorn. I don't care what movie we're watching. I'm craving for some popcorn. Where's my popcorn? Ooh, popcorn!
I think she's under the influence.
I don't know. I watched a lot of her videos. She dances a lot. I think she's just that way. She's very enthusiastic. Well, she likes popcorn. We know that.
All right, that's for sure.
No one won the Powerball, but no one's quite as lucky as the guy in Northern California whose house was destroyed. Why? Because it was hit by a meteorite. That's bad luck.
Heard a big bang. I started to smell smoke, and I went onto my porch, and it was completely engulfed in flames. They said it was a meteor. I've always watched meteor showers and stuff as a kid, but I definitely didn't look forward to them landing in my yard or through my roof. They said it's a 1 in 4 trillion chance. I guess I might be buying a lottery ticket today.
All the Ring cameras in the neighborhood captured a huge flash when it hit. So that's what they can explain.
I remember recently, I don't know whether I was reading it, seeing on a documentary, that the entire population of the United States, you could fit the entire, not the United States, the world.
Mm-hmm.
You could squeeze the entire population of the world into Manhattan. Everyone every human living on that's what I heard. Wow. The reason we don't see more of these is because the surface area of the world is vastly unpopulated. You don't see they land in places you don't see them, but every now and then you get some bad luck.
It's sad. I mean, you live in Northern California, you think everything's great, and then all of a sudden, boom, meteorite.
Did a superhero pop out?
Yes, a superhero popped out. Ant-Man. Just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy. And let's close with this, Mike. Congratulations to Mary Flip.
Who's Mary Flip? F-L-I-P?
Yeah, she lives in Chandler, Arizona, don't you know?
Oh, I love Chandler.
Yeah, Mary Flip turned 101.
Oh, bless her heart.
Bless her heart. And she has the secret to long life. She enjoys that her kids are grown, and that's funny when you're 101. You can have kids that are 80, but she enjoys her life, and she has a secret to living over 100 years.
Having 6 kids and able to cope with it, even though they're all grown, now I can stand back and see them fighting.
She asked what your secret for life is to make it good.
Tequila.
Tequila.
It's funny. I asked my doctor a secret to a long life. He did not mention tequila. Just saying. That's all I got.
That's for sure. Hey, our thanks to Michael Learned, legendary Olivia Walton from the Waltons, and starring in Dahmer-Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. If you're out in the Los Angeles area, they've got a wonderful Q&A with the cast and rare photo op with the family, and that comes up Thursday, November 17th at the historic Max Factor building in Hollywood, California. Remember, tomorrow's the day, folks. Get out and vote. Vote. Do your duty. Another important election, and you got to care. Even if your candidates might not be in the running, you go and vote anyway and do your duty. We'll see you tomorrow with a brand new episode for Robb Spiewak and Oscar Santana. Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Ridiculous, humiliating, ludicrous, painful, savage, brutal, cruel, and all false.